The International Center for Journalists believes in the power of quality journalism. It's training people all over the world to report the news responsibly, hold leaders accountable, and expose injustice. For more than 26 years, the nonprofit professional organization has played a lead role in fostering an independent, vigorous media, even in brutal and repressive societies.
Being able to work with journalists globally, being able to tackle those issues, being able for them to up their game, and to have impact on their societies cumulatively is huge.
Practical, hands-on workshops teach the best news-gathering practices, and ICFJ is arming a new generation of reporters with cutting-edge technology to get their stories out. In India, where the government bans independent radio news and millions have limited access to computers and electricity, an ICFJ Knight International Fellow is calling tribal communities with the news. Shu Chowdhury launched a breakthrough system that allows residents in the remote region of Chhattisgarh to listen to news on their mobile phones. The service is already making a difference. One trainee reported on school workers who had not been paid for more than a year. The story included contact information for the Secretary of Education.
Suddenly, calls from around the world flooded into this official, and what do you know? They got paid.
This mobile network has the potential to help isolated communities around the world share information. In the Middle East, conferences and workshops are helping Western and Muslim world journalists debunk myths about culture and religion and collaborate on stories that matter to both audiences. More than 40 leading journalists came together in Alexandria, Egypt, to explore freedom of expression in the digital age and work on pieces for publication in their home countries. ICFJ honored the 3 best projects. A team representing Israel and Jordan took first place. Ruth Iglash and Hani Hazaime explored the distrust and misunderstanding festering 15 years after their government signed a peace treaty. The Huffington Post and other international outlets picked up the story. At home, Hazaime faced an angry backlash, even death threats.
They kept on criticizing me. They called me names. Some of them called me an Israeli agent. Some of them called me a Mossad agent, Israel lover, a betrayal to the Palestinian cause.
But their experience working together in the ICFJ program inspired Hazaime and Iglash to create a new venture that helps fellow reporters focus on stories that bridge the gap between their cultures.
We had a common interest, we both love our profession, and that's what brought us together. And you know, anyone on both sides can find that common interest, and it just needs to be spoken about so that people will give it a chance.
In sub-Saharan Africa, where so many countries are wrestling with HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other crippling diseases, ICFJ-trained journalists are writing stories that hold governments accountable for health care and give citizens the information they need to prevent the spread of deadly diseases. The Knight International Fellow in Uganda, Chris Conti, has cultivated a vibrant community of reporters with the expertise to tackle tough health issues, including a team that examined a growing polio outbreak that the government was ignoring.
A World Health Organization official who had met some journalists at one of our workshops told the journalists about his concern, and that prompted coverage in the Uganda media. Within a day, the government did release funds for an aggressive campaign, and it turned out to be the most successful vaccination program in recent memory.
Conti's work with reporters at the Daily Monitor, Uganda's leading newspaper, revealed extensive problems in the country's hospitals. The series embarrassed the government and prompted officials to apply for a World Bank loan. Uganda got $130 million to improve its hospital system.
What's really powerful about the Knight program is that journalists, the fellows, are there on the ground and they stick around, and they really become part of the fabric of where they are.
From a multimedia program for aspiring journalists in Delhi to a global business journalism master's degree program at Tsinghua University in Beijing, ICFJ is making a difference. In Bangladesh, where women rarely work in broadcast news, Knight Fellow Kawser Mahmud launched the first television news agency run by women. In Mexico, where drug trafficking and corruption have created conditions so violent reporters are intimidated, threatened, and even murdered, ICFJ opened a foundation that defends freedom of expression.
We want to make sure that our work has impact. We want to make sure that we can show results for the projects that we're doing.
ICFJ has trained more than 65,000 journalists and media managers in more than 170 countries. In every corner of the world, ICFJ is helping to build more vibrant, more open, and more accountable societies. Interview by interview, story by story, news is reaching people in the most exciting and innovative ways.